I think we're live, guys. I think we did it.
Can we do it?
Can we do it?
Hey, everybody. This is N7 Day 2022. I am incredibly excited. I'm going to go through and do introductions and then tell you guys how this particular stream is going to run. I'm happy to see everyone. It's like a little reunion we've been doing for the past several years. It's always a joy. In no particular order, the voice of Commander Shepard, Jennifer Hale.
Yay!
So happy to be here. I am half the voice.
That's right. The other half of the voice of Commander Shepard, Mr. Mark Meir.
Hello.
Hey!
Delighted to see you all, and happy N7 Day.
Excellent. The voice of Dr. Liaro Tassoni, Ali Hillis.
Yay!
Such professionals not clapping into the microphone, just like you guys are trained.
Golf clap.
The voice of Caden Alenko, Raphael Sabarge.
Yay.
Yeah, there you go. The silent clapping. There we go. The voice of Jack, Courtney Taylor. All right. The voice of Sam Trainer, Alex Wilton Regan.
Yeah!
Hello.
The voice of Morden, William Salyers.
Yay!
Here.
Hello. The voice of Thane, Keith Farley.
Hey, everybody!
Hello. And the voice of Tally, Ash Sroka.
Yay!
And in the background there, we have to cycle people because we have more than 10, so there's going to be some shuffling going on. We have the voice of Sovereign. Peter Jessup is there.
Hey, everybody.
With his menacing decibels right there.
Hiding in the darkness.
As Sovereign often does. So anyway, I'm always incredibly excited to do these, and this is an absolute joy for me. How this is going to work, for the past couple days, we've been collecting questions from social media, from you guys, the Mass Effect fans, from all around the world. I've collected a whole bunch of questions. We literally, I think, got thousands of them, so I went through and picked a whole bunch of questions and shout-outs. We're going to go through as many as we can for about the next 60-plus minutes. At the end, if we have time, what we're going to do is run through some lines and be silly and have fun. And then I think we'll have information at the end about how some of these folks are going to be signing and when they're going to be signing. Because it's N7 Day and you guys got to get some stuff signed. So how are you guys doing? Happy N7 Day. This is so exciting.
Yeah.
Happy N7 Day.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
Oh, absolutely.
Selfishly,
Selfishly, this is a real joy for me. I have been a fan, obviously, since the first game came out. I'm a massive fan. Over the years, as I've been doing these, I've been getting to know you guys. And the thing that I really want to point out is that you guys are, outside of your roles, you're all fantastic people that do really amazing things, not only for the Mass Effect community, but for the world in general. And it's rare in this space to have talent that really cares about the universe and does a whole lot of stuff to make the world a better place. So if you are a Mass Effect fan and you're here hanging out with these people, I know after doing this for like more than a decade, these are some real people that do some really great stuff. So silent applause and just my little moment of gushing before we get down to business. Okay, so thank you guys for being here and hanging out. And thanks for asking me to come. It's always a blast.
Yeah. And you know
what?
Can I shout out to our friends in the community who were already booked today and couldn't join us, but send their love, which includes, Kimberly Brooks, Steve Bloom. Though Brandon is always quite busy and doesn't do these things often, but I know how loved he is in the community and just want to shout out to you guys from them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think the last one we did was for, last year we had the 20-person panel and about gave me a heart attack. So I'm glad. I'm glad it's not that big. That was like a resume. That was a resume builder. I'm like, I did this panel. It was 20 people, and they're like, "How'd you do that?" I'm like, I have no idea.
I don't know.
Loads of talent.
Yeah, zero talent, all adrenaline. That's all that was last year.
And I want to say, keep an eye out on social media for our other cast members because they will be signing some of them as well. And I'll signal boost, and we'll all signal boost for each other. Awesome. Guys as well if you want it.
Awesome. So how this is going to work, I'm going to quickly go through as many of these questions that we've sort of curated from the community, and we'll answer them and have fun and see how far we get in about an hour. Okay, how's that sound?
Perfect.
Good. Okay.
Lovely.
So our first question is from Betty, and this is from Twitter. I love this question. It was really outside of the box. Is if aliens visited Earth, and asked to show them one thing you think is amazing or beautiful, what would you choose? This can be anything from a person to a place to food to music or a game or anything. So, aliens visited the Earth. What is one thing you think is amazing or beautiful?
Got a hand up.
Courtney's got it. Courtney's got something.
Courtney.
Tacos.
See, I'm like torn between like the sunrise, a brand new baby, puppies, kittens, like
And
Right.
tacos.
And
Yeah.
tacos.
music,
Music.
singing. I'd want to show them singing because it is
Music
the
is good. Music is
I'd,
good.
I'd
You know,
want to take him
Jen-
to a go.
Go ahead. No, I was just saying, Jen, I thought about the puppies and the kittens too, but I was thinking, like, take them to someplace like a shelter where they're really well treated to show them that we're capable of caring for creatures that aren't like us.
Yes.
What's my answer, dude?
That's a good one. That's a good one.
That's because great minds think alike, Allie.
Yeah, they do. And great
Somebody-
Allie lives that on a regular
hearts.
basis.
Yeah.
That's right.
No, I was like, I would show them a bumblebee because bumblebees are amazing and so unique.
Just don't let them grab it.
And they defy
No.
physics.
And they defy physics and they're
They're
so
not meant to
smart
fly.
and beautiful
Right.
and they
Well-
make the whole world and the ecosystem go round.
They
And I
are
was
pretty
like,
awesome.
They defy
Bumblebees.
physics as we understand it. But I watched that video yesterday with my kid because I'm sort of grounded right now. I watched this video yesterday with my kid, the one that starts in in houses and then zooms
Wow.
out
Oh,
all
yeah.
the way
Yeah.
through the known universe. And I'm like,
yeah.
oh, there's so much happening. And
Hmm.
we only see, do you guys know, we only see 0.0035%, 0.0035% of the light that's out there.
That's amazing.
And we think we know. I'm like,
Yeah.
Wow.
cute. We're so
Plus,
cute.
there's every chance that when these aliens show up, they'll just be giant bumblebees. So they
My point.
There you go.
Exactly.
Love it.
You'll be reintroducing to them to their last family members.
yeah, they'll be like,
They'll
hey,
be like-
check it out. They're like, we know, we're good.
Excellent.
That
I
reminds me
think
Men
I
in
think of the
Black.
natural world. I
Watch
think of
stuff.
the same sort of thing. I think I would be Grand Canyon.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And also the trip
Yep.
down into the Grand Canyon kind of gives
Oh,
you the
yeah.
whole flavor of what the Earth is all about.
Yeah.
And then I thought about the sequoias, which is the other one. Of course.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
walking
God.
through those trees. Yeah.
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 And
And
art
like
is
the,
good.
I think
Otters.
you see d'Orsay in France for just the joy of expression.
I was gonna say
that you see
art.
in those paintings. Yeah.
Yeah, dance,
Waterfalls, the ocean,
dance, ocean.
anglerfish.
I'm
Yes.
still thinking about. I'm still thinking about the
Anglerfish are
tacos.
terrifying.
Answer.
I know. We're back to tacos. Now we're
Like,
going
Back to tacos.
And stuff. And I'm like,
Well, I gotta say, and it speaks well of everyone here. These are all very paragon responses. These are
Yeah.
all sick.
That's
But
true.
perhaps it might pay to be a bit more conscious when these aliens show up, or a little more cautious rather. We might not have a clear idea of their objectives and their intentions, so we might want to keep them busy. So I say we have them spend 40 to 50 hours playing Mass Effect. So like that.
Yes.
For a while.
yes.
Nice.
And if they play
Yeah.
the trilogy much longer. So yeah, we'll and then we could also then ask them their opinion at the end of it. Like, did we get it right?
Excellent. Excellent.
And they're
That's
like, we'd never thought of that.
True.
This sovereign has some good ideas.
Right?
All right, so our next question is from Struggler Bree, and this is for Jennifer and Mark. Struggler says, as the voice of such an iconic character, how do you feel about the legacy of Shepard? They've both touched the hearts of everyone that has played Mass Effect. So what does the legacy of Shepard really mean to you?
Jennifer, do you want to address this one?
Oh, I was
first?
going to let you talk first. And then...
Okay. Well, I mean, the legacy of Shepard, I think because Shepard was the very first character where, as a player, you weren't just seeing blocks of text. You were hearing a voice and you were sort of drawn into the experience. And of course, the amazing relationships that you could have with all the NPCs and whatnot really gave Shepard this full life. So I've had fans tell me that for the first time, they felt like they were in the video game. They were experiencing the life of the character. So in some ways, I think that is the legacy, just giving people the opportunity to really step into another world and just immerse yourself in the storylines and the relationships that Shepard had with all these fantastic characters and with the universe itself.
Mm-hmm. I would add exactly what you said, and I would add to that as well. I think it gave many, many people the opportunity to find themselves and to receive permission to be themselves. You know, I think the timing of when this game came out lined up with a whole bunch of letting go of some old restrictive notions in our world. And I think it gave people a place to see themselves in pop culture and see themselves in a franchise that meant so much. You know, it always cracks me up. Movies are incredible, and I love being transported. I love, you know, what film does, and a good TV series, like the volume of hours you're spending on this journey. But I think the thing that people don't always recognize about games is that it's 10 times that sometimes hours you spend with these characters. And when you're in a game like this, like Mark said, and you're co-creating the realities, you know, with options that actually fit who you are, it's transformative. It's extraordinary. The people who have come up to conventions and the stories and the signings and the stories I hear, they're so moving and so cool and so amazing. I consistently feel deeply honored to have been able to live in this character. Like, yeah. And I will say out loud, because everybody's wondering, we don't know what's next. Like both, I mean, I don't, Mark can speak for himself. I have no idea, but yes, I would show up in a hot minute.
We got lots of questions if you'd show up in a hot minute. And I'm glad to hear that you would show up in a hot minute. That's great. You know, it's
I agree, but
you...
only under any circumstances.
Any circumstances. Absolutely.
You guys, this is the thing about Mark that I don't know if this audience knows. He's a comedic genius. He's I'm going to talk about you like you're not here, brother.
Full disclosure, I stole that line from Mr. Show. So, but yeah.
It's in there, like it's an encyclopedia. You are just so brilliant. I love it so much. Your comedy chops. That's just like yeah.
You guys both mentioned sort of the impact of this character, and one of the things that I like to do when we gather all these questions, like I told you, we literally got hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands. I put them all into a PDF and I send them all to you guys in your inboxes, so you can look through. Even if your question doesn't get asked live, you guys have the opportunity to read what people are sending. So if you sent us something, it's not lost in the void. Okay, everyone will get a chance to read it. So that's I think pretty special and important. We do have a shout out here. This is from Tony, and I have to put some of these in here. Some of these are so amazing. There's so many people that had N7 birthdays, N7 weddings. I'm just going to read you some of these quick shout outs. It says, Tony says, "Thanks for giving me the best gaming franchise story ever. My birthday is November 7th, but I don't even celebrate my birthday. I'm all for Mass Effect. Maybe it was destiny for me to be like this, for me to like this franchise. Thank you for the great gaming memories that I'll never forget." So happy birthday, Tony.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Tony.
Happy
birthday.
Woo!
It's a pretty
Everybody
great
else
birthday
who has a birthday today, happy birthday.
I know.
Yes.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthdays.
It's awesome.
All the N7 babies.
I know.
That would be a
many.
great cartoon, N7 Babies.
They all have wings and are jet propelled.
Coming soon to Paramount Plus.
Yeah, there you go.
Everybody's
Blue babies.
version. Baby
I can hear
Liara,
the
baby
theme song now.
Get on that, EA.
There you go.
The next question is from Nick Maz, and this is for Ash. It says, what was the process like for coming up with a voice and accent for Tally?
Thanks for the question. I love this question. We've had this question before, but I will share again. I remember being in the booth to audition. Like we audition all the time. And I remember the audition so clearly. And I remember the copy, and there was like very little description. It said something about a young gypsy looking for herself, gypsy accent. And I remember just the words were so beautiful. Like the writing in this speech that was like this long was so beautiful and so full and rich, and also left all this room for me to fill in the whole backstory. And I just made it up. It just came out, this accent that is just not really anything. And I feel like it was ancestry from like so many places that just came through. Non-specific, I think, was the actual direction. Non-specific gypsy accent, and I had so much fun. And I just felt her it was me, it was her, and it was like so much more than just the two of us. That's how it happened. So there wasn't, it was like one of those magic moments. And it was one of those moments where I was like, I love her. Like I am her. And I felt so grateful just getting to read the copy in the audition, which is like what we always want. And yeah, so that's how it happened.
Manifestation, huh?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Sweet. That's great. I love it. We have a question from Anna. This is for everybody. It says, have any of you created a backstory or personal headcanon for your characters that isn't official, but you'd like to think is true? So if you have anything specific to your character that in your head you kind of wish was true, but
Well, I kept asking for a chimpanzee sidekick, and they never gave me one. I like to think that's part of Shepard's backstory.
It might be.
Drove
Maybe
around
the
in a
next one.
semi truck for a while with a chimp.
Anybody else other than chimpanzees? That's a hard question. Other than there's
That's
sort of
a
a
hard
curveball.
That's
Yeah.
a hard question.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
I think it's an interesting question, and I think folks like to imagine that goes on. But I think a lot of us, I in particular, try to focus on what's on the page, and what they've given us to work with. And it's fun to think of, Thane as a polywog, but it's also fun just to be able to create from this beautiful writing that came about in this game. And that's where the character really comes from, is in their relationship with other characters in the game and within the story that's been given for themselves. So I'm grateful for all of that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's tricky because, like you said, you guys, there's so much that goes into the recording of these roles. I think in past N7 reunions, we've talked a little bit about the technical process of how challenging it is. And it doesn't allow you much room to deviate from what's on the page. But it's interesting to think about what might have been rattling around in your heads, So I have a question. This is from Rachel from Florida. This is for Allie. This is an interesting one. What do you think Liara would be like as a mother?
I think we've talked about this a lot in a lot of different interviews. Blue babies. I get a lot of votes for blue babies. I think she'd be extremely nurturing. She probably would be one of the wisest moms ever, since she'd probably be one of the oldest moms ever. I'm not sure if any science would have to be involved, or if she could just, procreate naturally. But I do think she would be one of the wisest moms ever, and extremely patient. Although I think she has evolved over time from Mass Effect 1 to 3, but I think she's very analytical, and sometimes she might have to remind herself to offer a hug instead of a way to fix a problem. Just a thought.
That's a great answer.
Fascinating that that's still an issue many, many years into the future.
I think it will be. I think even more so it might be.
Right?
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like at least with Liara, at the beginning of her sort of evolution to becoming maybe a bit more emotional and connected as she evolved, being surrounded by so many humans and, falling in and out of love and all of those things. Yeah.
What is this like? This is the longest 16 inches that exists. The journey from head to here.
Yes.
To here.
That's a good one.
That's a good question. Thanks.
Yeah.
I just want to
to
say no one ever asks that question about Jack.
We've all had parents like Jack, though. Let's be honest. Like,
You on your corner when it all hits the fan.
Yeah, that's true.
All of us.
That's true.
Yeah.
I do.
Jack would be a pretty cool mom, let's face it.
Yeah, Jack would be a cool mom.
I think she'd be pretty cool.
She shows up
would
at the
definitely
school
be entertaining.
You would you would rarely be bullied, I suspect.
This is
She'd be a darn cool auntie, that's for sure.
She'd be a knockout at a
yeah.
PTA meeting. Too.
That's the t-shirt I want to see, Auntie-Jack.
Auntie Jack.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Auntie
that's
Jack.
great.
Oh, man,
We're for it, man.
She would be a good aunt, that's for sure. So this is a question for Courtney. This is from Victor Warmgard. It says, is there some aspect of Jack that you would have loved to delve deeper into? whether it be potential storylines or more backstory?
Well, yeah, I think I would love to delve more into like what she became. You know, I would have loved to see more of I loved the way she got wrapped up, but I would love to have seen more of the actual nuts and bolts of how she got there. And I would also love to see the Auntie Drac storyline, or the N7 babies. I think that would be an amazing. I want to see Baby Jack, but yeah, just to kind of see. I mean, I know that there was like in Mass Effect 3, you had to like play through and kind of like might have missed her, but I just from where she started to where she ended up. Yeah, just to see the process a little more. And I just loved the interactions she had with her students, and that she showed so much more. Like she was still her, but she had this whole new level of empathy and stuff. And yeah, so just more of that, I think.
She has such an interesting story, but like learning a little bit more about how she became as hardened as she was even before what happened to her would be really fantastic. I totally agree.
Yeah,
I also
and
want
I
to know
think
what
there's
bands she listened to, right? Like what
right,
bands does Jack
right,
listen
and
to?
I know what bands. But just the idea that because she had such an awful upbringing, I think there's so much value in really showing how. Again, I mean, I always say this, but you're not just the sum of your parts. That you can go through utter hell and come out the other side and be able to be a human being with a whole range of emotions, and to become something from what you thought you could be.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great answer. We have a question for everyone from Hobbs. What was the most heartfelt moment you had working on the trilogy, whether it be in the recording process or fan interactions or whatever? What touched you the most, or has touched you the most, being a part of all of this?
So much
Broad
of
question.
it.
Yeah.
So much of it. Like the ending for me in particular with Jennifer's character, if you romance Sam, getting to know in particular Jen, Ali, and Courtney. I was like little 24-year-old Londoner bopping about to Comic-Cons, and they taught me everything, and then secrets and tricks, and brought me under their wings. So they are like my aunties. I mean, they're only about 4 years older than me, but they are like my aunties. And as someone, I'm sorry, I keep looking over here because I finally learned how I can read the comments as we're doing this, which is so much fun. And as someone pointed out, gay marriage was still illegal when we recorded a lot of our stuff in a lot of countries. So seeing that represented on screen, in particular with my character and Jen's character, was huge and really emotional. And people come up and share their stories, and I'm the daughter of lesbians, and it's like this whole emotional thing, and like my grandfather was a chess champion, and my character plays chess, and there's a lot of stuff, and I'm a Londoner, and Sam's a Londoner, and the whole thing is beautiful and magic, and I feel very, very, very privileged to be a part of it, and so love doing this every year, and I hope we always can, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Can I just jump in and say that the thing that I mean, the very end, realizing that it was the very end, was a moment that I will never forget. Kind of the recording of that was, I was weeping as we were kind of realizing that this had sort of come to an end. But on the other side, the thing that I have to say, and particularly over the past couple of years, just with the release of Legendary and with what's happened, it's so astounding to be a part of the Mass Effect family, the fans who really continue to reach out and just extend love to one another, who take care of one another, who just sort of look after one another, and to feel a small part of this is just it's such a lift. And during the pandemic, when people were reaching out and when we were connecting, it was so meaningful, and it meant a lot. It meant a lot to be a part of this family. That's really straight up. I don't feel. I mean, we all work a whole bunch. This is an extraordinary experience, that sort of shatters really any other one that I've ever been a part of.
I didn't think that I could be any more moved than I was by the final scene from Morden, where he releases the cure and, you know, pays the ultimate price for that. And then in the DLC, they had me saying "Amazing Grace," and that was like, you know. So both of those experiences were very, very moving to me. And the one time a fan came up to me, I think I was in Seattle, and she came around my table and raised the leg of her jeans, and she had a full color Morden Solis bust on her calf, and talked about what the game had meant to her. And yeah, that's when you feel like, well, I'm just in service to something a lot bigger than I am.
That is.
I had that sensation at PAX East, which was the first convention I think I ever went to as a performer. I had no idea what to expect, and these folks had built a Thane costume for me to cosplay. And I had no idea what to expect when we walked out onto that stage in the main ballroom in front of 2,000 people. And then somebody stood up, some brave soul stood up and took the microphone and talked about their struggles with trying to stay alive. And that this game kept them alive. This game offered them an opportunity to realize that life was worth continuing. And it's still, I get goosebumps to this day. It chokes me up to think about. And that was the first of many folks who come up and said how this game has changed their lives, got them through impossible situations, taught them how to survive and to keep going. And that was unbelievable to me, because it was just this little game that I was in, this gig that I had, and then really understanding and going deeper with how much it touches and moves folks was blew me away.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
actually in the audience
actually-
that day. Yeah.
I feel like with Jack, both what she experienced, like in the booth for me, when she's looking, you know, there's the double-sided mirror. She's under, like, going how bad people were sort of tortured and used as fodder for her to become stronger. Was really, I mean, it was a really hard session. And then, so that was what I really overwhelmed with the writing. But also being able to go to conventions, and in particular to talk to young women and people who are, you know, their sexuality is, you know, being discovered, for women who got to see someone up on the screen that was not like your typical beauty queen, somebody who was like punk rock and fuck it kind of person. Sorry. Kind of a, who's, you know, whose emotions were bigger than she was. And she, you know, reacted in what would probably, you know, would be a very masculine kind of way. But to see that, like, there's somebody like that for you. If you don't relate to those typical beauty standards, if you don't relate to being typically feminine, that we're out there, we exist, and there's room for those people, really touched my heart. And so every time I'm at a convention and I see, you know, I have those conversations about gender and sexuality and appearance, it really feels to me like that was groundbreaking.
Absolutely. From the fans' perspective, also, I mentioned at the beginning, I've been kind of crossing paths with you guys for, you know, a decade, and meeting fans for a very long time. And it's always, you know, you guys have helped build such a warm and nurturing community that is so supportive and so cool. It's just great to see year after year, everyone kind of coming together and celebrating, and it's awesome. It's great. I have a comment here. You guys were talking about the impact of the game. This is from Mystic FL1. And he's just telling a quick little story here. He says, I had just completed serving in the military and had broken my back. My spine was broken, so I was in the hospital for a while. And to heal, Mass Effect helped me through the healing process at the hospital, and I've been playing it ever since.
Oh my
And we got so many stories like that, guys. It's like, it's unbelievable. Just like people have, you know, it's such a great game. It's so well created that it is just, it helps people through these really rough times. It's great to see.
As you mentioned, it's a fairly common story that I think any of us who've done conventions, we've probably all heard people who had severe or life-threatening medical issues, people who were going through really severe family troubles, even people who were just stationed away from home for long periods, like in the military. It's such a common thing that they found Mass Effect. They not only did they find the game, but they also found the greater Mass Effect community and made friendships and those sort of things that supported them through really difficult times. And it's really great to get to be a small part of that, a small part of this thing that helped them get through.
Definitely.
It's awesome.
The craziest, you know, like you guys have all mentioned of it. I'm about to cry here. It just gets me every time. I think of, you know, so many people have come up and talked about stuff like that. I think the craziest one that, or just the one, I literally picked up the team and left them a voice message as soon as I met this woman. There was a woman, I think it was Chicago, who had a stroke, and she was young. She was like late 20s, early 30s maybe. And one of her physiotherapists suggested that to rehab, she get a controller and play a game. And she chose Mass Effect, and it got her back her fine motor movements. That is just wild. You know, adds to the spectrum of people like, I didn't want to live anymore and this got me through, or I didn't know how to come out to my dad and this helped me do it, to, you know, all this kind of stuff. Like,
It's amazing.
yeah, such an honor.
I'm glad Alex pointed out the comments. I don't know if you guys all can see the comments, but we're reading so many amazing stories from you guys on the comments. So thank you so much for reaching out and letting us know how you feel and telling us your stories over here. It's very, very heartwarming to read.
It never gets old.
It never gets old.
Never
And
does.
we really do read them. I think fans don't often know that. Agents do forward your mail to us. Managers do forward emails on. We do take these stories back from the conventions and the Instagram lives and all of it. And it does move us. We hear all of it.
And
we
you guys
really
out
hear you.
Yeah. And you guys, this is the thing, like, we're here on the panel, right? And then there's all of our beloved castmates who, you know, timing didn't work for today, but they're here in spirit and we're with them. You guys are it. Everybody out there watching, everybody who's played the game, like, you guys are it. You matter so much, and we appreciate you so much.
You know what the coolest thing is that, like, Mass Effect is kind of like a gang. Like, you can literally be walking somebody with like an N7. I told this story, but like, you know, being at a convention and being with like very famous people, and everyone's freaking out. This is the very abridged version, but everyone's freaking out about these famous like Game of Thrones people I'm sitting having dinner with, and then in the corner there's one guy with an N7 shirt on, and I like, looked over like. This thing of like, you know, it is a part of like the best kind of gang that you will always be for life. And both in this huge like meta way, and also in what we got as the actors, which was, I mean, I had met Raphael, and I knew Jennifer in passing, but I didn't know anybody else. And now it's like every time I see somebody that is involved, it's like this is
it's extended family, right? This feels like N7 Day feels like a family reunion.
Absolutely.
And you know, to add what you were saying, Courtney, like that thing I said earlier, right, about we only see 0.0035% of the light spectrum. Like, there's all this other, there's energy, right? There's energy in the world, right? And there's a connection behind that. And I will see somebody, I live in a smaller city now, much smaller city than I did. And I will see somebody at a bus stop or walking down the street and they've got an N7 jacket on. And I just send over like even if they don't see me, I'm like, I just, because yes.
Ash, can I also just say that someone on here named their daughter Tali, which is amazing.
Say that. Oh, sorry. What'd you say, Alex? Say it again.
Someone, oh, sorry, I was just going to say, Ash, I'm asking you out. I named my kid girl after Tali.
Oh, wow.
Do you know?
Sweet,
Wow.
sweet.
So, yeah.
I actually have had so many messages. I mean, over the years, where pictures of this is my daughter and her name is Tall. I mean, so many.
Wow.
It's so beautiful. It's like,
That's
oh my,
amazing. That's
so
amazing.
touching. And it's a beautiful name. I love it.
It is.
It
It
is.
really is.
And
Courtney,
I've gotten
you had to
take
go,
so
hon.
many.
Courtney
So
has
many
to
comments.
roll.
Yeah, Courtney has to go, I think.
Oh,
Love you.
Bye,
Bye,
Court. We love
Courtney.
you.
Bye, Courtney.
Bye,
Courtney.
gorgeous.
it was great to see
See you
you.
next time.
Love you,
If
man.
you guys come on to my Instagram live tonight, I'll be on at 7:30 Pacific time, sweaty from working out and probably drinking because of the elections tomorrow. I want to also remind you guys, please, please, please remember to vote. If you check anything at all, you can go to nerdsvote.com. There's still opportunities if you're not registered in some states that you can register to vote and vote tomorrow. And don't forget to send in your ballots, all that good stuff. If you have any questions, nerdsvote.com. Yes,
And
Jen.
Can I just say also that there's all these little details to vote on, which actually do matter. And Nerds Vote, can you tell them about the guide real quick about how you can look up your area and have some guidance?
Because we are
nonpartisan, but just like, what does that even
there-
mean? Yeah.
You can go and you can, I always suggest that people go and they find some, if you're in the LGBT community, there's PFLAG and places like that you can go to that will recommend resources for voting. You can, there's also, I don't honestly know what the red voting guide is, but there's bluevoterguide.org. There's so many resources, and you can also hit me up on Twitter. I'll be on forever and trying to get, will really be me, to get people. It'll be me, Elon Musk. Look me up.
Thank you.
Love you.
I will also be out on Twitter as Elon Musk. So
I'll be on as Elon Musk. So there you go.
Courtney
Love you,
Elon.
babe.
Take care, Courtney.
Thank
Thank you for what you do.
Bye, Courtney.
Bye,
Great
Courtney.
seeing you.
You will. You will.
Great. We have a question from Oana, and this is for Keith. It says, did you get any predefined guidelines for how your character should act, sound, or feel, or were you free to apply a little creativity to voicing him?
We worked on it together. J.D. McSwain was the voice director for my sessions. And we went full Star Trek with it. I really felt as we started to work on the character that Thane was very Spock-like. So keeping him very sort of in that range where he was quite logical. And then as he got into the flashback sequences, totally grabbed voice patterns from Shatner to sort of, as he was in the midst of his flashback sequence, it became very Shatner-esque, and Ginny would just go, yeah, just Shatner it.
I love it. Absolutely
And
love
so
it.
it was that combination of this sort of cool composure of Spock, and then in those moments, the broken speech pattern of William Shatner.
I love it. I love it.
That's a shout out that I really feel deep. If I could just throw that into our directors, because there were a few. This is a massive project, right? Like we started. I started with Ginny, and then Chris Borders, Ginny McSwain, and Chris Borders as well, and Caroline Livingstone. Like these are like the unsung heroes of games that everyone loves. They're just so important to what ends up coming out at the other end. Because most of the time, we've never seen these scripts before till we walk in the booth. We'll do anywhere from, maybe 2+ takes, just a few, and then it goes to market. Like, have a good day. And we are so dependent on those people. Yeah. Yeah.
You have to really paint the picture for us.
The other thing that I found amazing was the evolution. Mark talked about this earlier, the evolution of the game feeling like more like life. That it's like, it's not just, I started playing video games when the Atari 2600 came out. It's a past life, but and kind of grew with them. And the first time I remember playing Tomb Raider, I mean, I played Sonic and all the side action scrollers, and then playing Tomb Raider for the first time and feeling like, holy crap, I'm in a movie.
Yeah.
And then sitting down for that first session when they showed me the choices that you could make about how you responded to different characters in the game and how that would change the outcome. It was the first time I'd ever seen anything like that. And it's just that next level. Bring in the dogs. Bring them in.
I think we all have
Not my
pets.
dogs.
Once I start talking
Not my
about
dogs.
gaming,
Not my dogs.
I'm coming for you.
So
Not my dogs. Not my dogs.
it was just an amazing to be part of an evolution of gaming that Mass Effect brought.
Yeah.
That's a great answer.
Yeah. I mean, that is a thing that people always say is that Mass Effect was to gaming what Star Wars was to film, which is that it just sort of broke some glass ceiling and it kind of changed everything. And there was sort of the before Star Wars and then after Star Wars. And similarly, something about this game, clearly, why we continue to come back and celebrate it is just that it has it shifted something and continues to sort of capture people's imagination and their heart and their adrenaline and their passion, and garners children's names and tattoos. How many photos of tattoos? Also today, so many people have ceremonial sort of unveilings of their tattoos.
Right?
It's spectacular
It is.
and
True.
astonishing,
It's
and
very
clearly
true.
speaks to how life altering this game was and what the combination of the story and characters.
I often think of puppies. I often think of puppies, but I often think of the team and how the doctors, the starting of the company and how they set out to do this and how brave that was. Because I mean, I'm over 30. We all know that. I'm over 40, and
No way.
I experienced being female in the 80s and what that was like, and being treated like property, being handled literally as talent, having to choose when I expressed an opinion because it might not be received. Because I was in the South too, where our traditions were very empowered at that time. And to step into a role in a game where I could express all the pieces of myself, both allowed and not allowed. And that stuff, I'm a rebel. Well, you tell me I can't do something, I'm going to go do it even if I don't want to, just because you told me I couldn't. But, there's to be free to be that and to relax, because there's a guard that's up when you move through the world that way. There's a got to gird myself for the pushback. And got to test and see how much is going to blow up in my face by being fully myself, and thankfully I see people younger than me now, much younger, living less that way. And to be a part of that that wave, like, I see it almost like a sound wave breaking the barrier. It's just, it's mind blowing. It's such a gift. Like Mark said, just to be a tiny, tiny piece of that is like, wow.
Yeah. Really astounding.
Yeah, it's pretty spectacular.
Yeah.
It's become so it's really interesting because like I hear all these stories and I've been reading through everyone's comments, and so many people were saying that they just started playing during the pandemic, like they didn't pick it up, and like we have a lot of new people in the community that are just now becoming part of this big thing that it feels like for me it's been around forever, but it's interesting that more people are sort of hopping on and experiencing it for the first time. And I think like Raphael said, like Star Wars, I think people are going to keep gravitating towards it. It's sort of become this timeless classic. So you guys are in for the long haul. So we'll see you next year and the year after that, and the year after that.
Yeah, 30 years from now.
Everybody all with their walkers. Yeah, absolutely. We have a question from Neville, and this is for Raphael. He says, I've heard that you were a loud voice in Caden Alenko becoming bisexual or pansexual. Was there a moment while working as Caden that made you realize that Caden would love Shepard regardless of gender?
Wow, that's such a great and deep question. It is not our place as the actors in this game to be able to kind of determine the course of this. We can't even change a word. Maybe a little bit of when I throw in an and or a but generally we're tied to the script. That's what we do. We come and we really bring the life to what they've brought us in terms of I can say personally, I was thrilled when this happened, and when the opportunity to be able to have these relationships just opened up. And I, again, it's my understanding, I'm sure there are people that know this better, in terms of the history, but that Bioware was one of the first companies that really embraced this idea. And I again, love that we were a part of that. And I met a fellow once who also told me the story that he'd written his master's thesis on how he came to understand his gender more innately, because in this space, because he could basically become, have a female shepherd or a male shepherd and be able to alternate, and or then have relationships with any number of, that he found his spiritual gender, as it were, through the playing of this game and through the role playing. And we are I have many deep personal feelings. Obviously, I bring, if we ever sat down for a drink or a coffee, I could tell you, how strongly I feel about this matter. But I can say, as a sort of a pawn in this, by virtue of the fact is that we are characters in this, the fact that we were a part of that, and I still am so proud of the fact is that this was an entry point into a lot of conversations before Prop 8 and before all sorts of things that happened in LA, in California. This was sort of a way of changing how people think, and that was great.
Yeah, if you play a game that features romantic freedom or the dialogue wheel, you can thank Mass Effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of truth in that. That's absolutely
It's true.
That's a great answer. Thanks. This is for William. It says, for many players, spoiler alert, the death of Morden was one of the saddest moments in the trilogy. What was your initial reaction upon reading his final lines? And what was that process of recording like?
Well, when I first read what was going to happen, my first reaction was, yes, this is an awesome scene. And then when I was actually playing it, because I've, like everybody else, I've played, death scenes on stage and on camera and all that. And I was shocked at how much I choked up on the mic playing that bit, because I had fallen, and I always, with full disclosure, I always want to make people know I took over that role. I was in Mass Effect 2, but I played different characters, and I didn't get to voice Morden until Mass Effect 3. And even in that short period of time, I fell in love with him, like so many other people do, and his intellect and his ultimate mercy. And so, yeah, I choked up pretty hard doing that.
I think we all did when we hit that scene. We weren't prepared. People are still upset about it. It's been a while.
Yeah, that's right.
People always talk about that one. I love that. Here's a happier little anecdote. This is from Maver Siani. It says, Mass Effect is my favorite game. I even have a tattoo. In 2021, I received a marriage proposal from my now husband, and the proposal asked me if I was ready to become a one-Turian kind of woman. So I'd like to thank you guys for making the Shepard Garrus romance one of the coolest and cutest things in video game history.
That is awesome.
Amazing.
Awesome?
Beautiful. So many.
God.
I would love to have like a, maybe at Dragon Con next year or something, like a mass, whoever wants to do a big Mass Effect wedding, like we'd all go and like, let's just do it.
Oh, yeah.
That's brilliant.
I don't
But
think
we
you
could
understand what you just did.
ordain. Yeah, we could ordain, Jen. So
Yeah.
the people who are getting married could be like, right, I want Fem Shep to do this one. The next one, right, I want Male Shep to do this one. I want Liara as my bridesmaid. Sam Trainer's like chief organizer or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Is anyone already ordained?
I'm ordained.
Oh, I guess he is.
So Keith, oh my God,
Okay,
we're
all right,
set.
Raphael, great.
Yeah.
There you go.
Only in Montana. It's a long story, but
Yes.
true story.
And when the kiss happens, we'll say, I should go.
Yeah.
Say, it was totally worth it.
You don't know how many requests you guys are about to get. Your
I
social
was
media
going to say, oh boy.
Please officiate my wedding. This is for the next
Oh, boy.
year of your lives. I have to ask Peter this question. You're still here, Peter. Great.
Yes.
So, Sovereign, terrifying. What information was given to you about Sovereign? Because one of the most, I think, terrifying, mysterious villains you know, in the trilogy. What were you told when you were recording Sovereign's lines?
Basically nothing. They give you the script and you get the situational information. The background was these are immortal spacecraft that have been around for several different cycles of evolution throughout the universe. And every couple of, you know, billion years, another group of sentient creatures become advanced enough that they can travel into space, and then we harvest them, and that's what we do. And that was pretty much it. But I play a lot of robots.
Yes,
because I have good diction. And robots always have, AI always has good diction. Yeah. So.
I was going to say, you sound remarkably like Sovereign without any sort of voice distortion. Like, it kind of made me a little uneasy.
I'm also very
Peter.
evil, so that's, you know,
Peter has such an amazing textured voice. I'm terrified of him right now.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Yeah, you don't want him calling you on the phone and being like, "Come over right now." You're like, "Oh gosh, what's happening?"
Or even
You're
worse,
coming
I'm coming over there right now.
Permit it. Yeah.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, there you go.
So we have, I want to make sure we're running low on time. Do we have a time for a couple more and then maybe do some lines? So like, how are we looking? Everyone okay?
Sure.
For a little bit?
I think we're good.
Okay, great. So we'll do a couple more questions and then we'll jump in and do some lines and have some fun to wrap things up. So let's see. This is a question from Marin from the Ukraine. Says a question from everyone. Would you rather reprise your role as a character you've already voiced or play an entirely new, different character in future projects?
I mean, for this one, you know,
This one.
Shepherd for life.
Yeah, Liara for life.
Yeah.
True blue.
It's hard. We've all grown very attached.
I know.
Yeah.
Well,
I would like to do both.
yeah, I was gonna say,
Totally.
yeah, why
Mark
not?
actually, yes, Mark and I did the funnest thing. Mark gave me the opportunity to participate in. Mark, tell him what the thing we did where I was, you know, it was so fun.
Oh,
I know,
that
that's
was the
very
thing
informative.
that Bioware. It was a thing that Bioware. I think this is what you're referring to. We
Yeah.
did a thing called Omni Blades in the Dark, which is based
Yes.
on the role-playing game Blades in the Dark. And we did a special Mass Effect skinned edition of that for N7 Day a couple of years ago, I think. And I got to play a Vorcha, which I have plenty of experience in. And Jennifer played a brilliant Solarian, which was a really fun
Oh,
character.
wow.
Thank you. I never got to do it, and that's why I was terrified I'd get the name of what I was wrong. So thank you for taking that ball. But it was so fun to be goofy. Like I'm with Allie. I'm like, add another one where I get to just be the polar opposite. Like we all did pick up characters, but something like that. Like Mark, you did a lot of that throughout this because your diversity is extraordinary. Yeah, I would vote for that.
I did play Morden for his whole life, so it would take something pretty special to get me back. But you know, in that world, it could happen. So I would just, you know, I'd be a coffee table. I just love the world. I would whatever.
It'd be a great coffee table.
I was going to say you'd be fabulous.
Yeah. You know
Absolutely.
that
You could-
cosplayers, there would be lots of coffee tables all over at the cons. Like,
Yeah.
Now that would be funny. More Mass Effect.
I'd want to
coffee
return
table.
to Shepard, but you know, Blasto, there's a lot of unexplored territory in that, you know, that
There
guy's
you go.
career.
That's true. That's true. We have a question from Africa 83. If I didn't ask this question, the community would hunt me down. This is for Allie. How did you feel seeing Liara in the teaser trailer for the next Mass Effect? She is my Femstrap's true love. How did you feel? Because I know you're under every single NDA on the planet. Don't break it. We just want to know how you felt.
Well, I probably felt not dissimilar to how all of you out there felt. Surprised, thrilled, perplexed, confused. A lot of questions entered my mind for sure. And they still are there, all of those questions. So I guess we'll see where it goes from here. But I mean, yeah, all kinds of questions came into my mind of what could be and what is that and how and why and really and probably not and not getting my hopes up in any way. So, you know, I'm probably where you are, trying not to get my hopes up and at the same time, well, that was interesting.
Yeah, I totally
They were so mean to do that. It was just cruel.
What is it? It's Ted Lasso. It's the hope that kills you.
It's
yeah,
the
Yeah.
hope that kills you.
it's the
Yeah.
hope that kills you.
But
Exactly.
also, you should have seen the text chat that went on between Jen,
Oh.
Ali, me, and Courtney.
Oh, it was
I was like,
wild.
Ali, hi, do you want
I
to
don't
tell
know,
us
I don't
anything?
know.
I was like, I've just seen it myself.
I just saw it.
And we
Yeah.
were like, you're either a very good liar or very good liar.
Come on,
yeah.
spill.
Oh, I got online and I started going crazy. I'm
Yeah.
sure everybody else did too out there. So I was looking and looking because I was really hoping to find something, but I didn't find anything. I just watched that thing over and over, and I paused it, and I paused it again, and I screenshot it, and then I zoomed in.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't.
Allie,
Yeah.
Allie, I
got
didn't
nothing.
want to. I didn't want you to find out this way, but they've asked me to take over the role.
Bill, why are you always doing this, Bill?
I wouldn't be
Bill.
surprised, you know.
I need a specialty. That's it. I replace people. That's my
This whole
thing.
panel has been
Well,
for
it's
that
the Mass
moment. We
Effect
finally had
world.
an
Anything can
intervention here.
happen. Wow, now that would be very cool.
I love it. I love
You,
it.
you would be an impossible act to follow.
You are going to be in trouble.
Hey,
You're not having blue babies.
Yeah.
I just vote for the multiverse option. Mark and I get to
Yeah, there
vote
you go.
there. Like we're both
Mhm.
together. I want scenes with Mark. You know.
The
Oh,
the
with the-
sibling
That
is
would
a
be
very
cool.
popular fan
We
art
want
thing,
you to
yeah.
have scenes with Mark.
Yeah, that
You have
would
to
be
go to a
cool.
different game for that because they do exist.
Oh, yeah.
Romancing the coffee
Yeah, that's right.
table. That's
Well, when we
funny.
do plugs, we'll get to that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
There
Yeah.
So let's do one last question, wrap it up. Again, if you guys in the community sent us questions, we appreciate it so very much, and I'll make sure that these fine folks here get to read everything that you sent. So we appreciate it, and I'm sorry we couldn't get to all thousands of them, but we got to a bunch. The last question is, and I already know the answer to this, but this is for everyone. Do you ever want to get back in the saddle and come back for another game?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes, of course. Are you crazy?
Yes.
I know. I like to always end it on that happy
let
note.
me-
Yeah.
Let me
Would I
think
get to be
about that,
alive?
okay? Let me think
Yeah,
about
right.
Do I get to be alive?
it.
Flashbacks.
Flashback.
Dream sequences.
Prequel.
Dream sequences. Yeah.
Right?
The
Anything
prequel.
can happen.
That's the
Mass
perfect
Effect,
thing.
the dead version.
There you go. There you go.
Afterlife
All those
We're all
things
dead.
we used to love are back once again.
All right. So what we're gonna do to close things out, I sent you guys some lines.
Yes.
Yes.
If for some reason you cannot access that, I can drop it into our chat here, so we'll be fine.
I got it. It was in my junk mail, as we found. I
You
don't
always
know why
block me. You always
my
block me.
email
man.
hates you. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Or is it at least very
I'm blocked
suspicious
by
of you?
most people. Just kidding. It's not true.
No, you're not.
Wait, have you been
I'm blocked.
impersonating Elon Musk again?
That's getting in trouble.
Hasn't
That's
everybody?
the number one.
Yeah.
Number one.
But did
crime.
you
We're all
write
doing
parody?
these days.
Because they will end you for that. Yeah.
Yeah, really.
Mhm.
I love that this is a thing that's happening right now.
Mm.
It's okay, though.
I-
Comedy is
I
legal.
was
That's what
worried.
retention looks like when you have billions.
Yeah, I was worried Twitter was going to shut down before N7 Day, and then I was like, how am I going to get questions? Anyway, selfish. All right, so the first quote or line was submitted by Tony, and this is a line for both Shepherds. Tony requested that one Shep does the first line and the next Shep does the second line. So I'll let you guys decide which Shep. is
Can I
gonna
ask
do
a question? Actually,
Yeah.
can we close with this one?
Oh yeah.
Would that
That's
be
great.
okay? Mark,
Yeah,
is that okay with
Yeah,
you?
I'm totally down
Feels
with that.
like
This is very
Yeah.
moving. You're right.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
good closer.
When we do close with it, would you like to take the first bit or the second bit? Which would you
I
like?
have no idea. I have no preference.
Okay, I'll let you bring it home.
Okay.
Bring it home.
Okay.
You
Great.
do the second thing there.
Okay.
All
So
right.
we'll
So for you
file that
folks
away.
listening, this is the fun part. This is where you get to hear this stuff live. I could do this part for like 6 hours. So maybe next year we'll just we'll force them to work for 6 hours and just reread all the giant telephone book of Mass Effect. So this is submitted by Jester XXXX, and this is a line from Thane.
Thanks, Jester. This is a great one. You accept darkness, yet choose to live in the light. So why is it that you loathe us who teeter on the edge of nothing? We who were turned away by both light and dark, never given a chance.
Yeah,
That's a great
amazing.
line.
I love that. And so Shatner.
I know, so Shatner, very good.
There's
Just
money in
wait.
that, Keith.
The next submission is by Bon Diesel, and this is a Shepherd and Tally line.
Which shepherd
Wait.
would you like?
Oh, go ahead, Mark. You go ahead.
Okay,
Mark.
cool. I'll take this one.
We've had a pretty good ride.
The best.
Oh,
Blush,
And,
blush.
I should mention that particular line, the best, was the very final line I ever recorded for the Mass Effect franchise because it was
Oh.
in
Oh,
DLC,
wow, that's
and
incredible.
it was I got to end on that line, so it had
Wow.
Wow.
emotional
Kinda
stuff
perfect.
behind it, yeah.
yeah, that's the best line to end on.
Amazing.
That's so beautiful.
Very good. The next submission is by GoBots, and this is Shepherd and Liara. And let's go for Jennifer.
It would be easy for a single ship to get lost up there, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would.
To find some place very far away where you can spend the rest of your life in peace and happiness.
Right now, there's no place I'd rather be.
Neither would I. I love you, Shepherd.
I love you too.
Show me.
Oh boy.
That was hard.
Freaking
No
fantastic.
puns, Alex. No.
Go on.
We're getting scandalous. So the next one, I feel okay. So we had this great question. There was a poem that Jack had submitted to the Galactic Poetry Monthly that got rejected. And I don't know if this line had ever been recorded, but Courtney had to go. So I feel like somebody has to read
Oh.
We
Jack's.
split it. What if
Shoot.
Morden and Sovereign share it?
Okay.
We have Morden and Sovereign
Right.
stuff. We don't. We have Morden stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we have much sovereign stuff.
But
So
also-
let's do that.
Do we have Caden? Yeah, we have Caden. Okay, so we've covered everybody. Okay.
So you want to do a Morden and sovereign split of this Jack poem?
Wow.
Wow.
This is not what you asked for, community, but this is better.
Start it out, Bill.
You guys channel your inner Jack. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want who starts?
You can start.
All right. My soul burns with a fire of darkness, quenched only in the pain of loneliness.
I hold my breath, waiting until spots appear black as the past and fill my lungs with lies of hope.
I mark myself, black and jagged, to cover the scars that make me a monster.
A warning. This is not a place of honor. No esteemed dead are buried here.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
So great.
Chat must be losing their minds because that
Oh
was
my
Fist,
God.
fist
Uh,
bump with Bill.
brilliant.
I don't know
Fist
about
bump Bill
anybody
here.
else,
Thank-
but
thank you, Peter.
I now
That
I
was
now
cool.
That was
ship
really good.
I now
There's a
ship
little
Morden
piece of history
and
right there,
Sovereign.
right there.
That's amazing. And the line "No esteemed dead are buried here" is like the most metal, awesome.
Oh,
line.
yeah.
No
Right.
esteemed dead are buried here. I love it. Oh my
That is a shout out I do not want to miss. Every single writer on this project.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
oh
the
my
writing was
God.
Yeah, that's
stellar.
right.
Yes.
Oh,
That's right.
every one of you. Just like, I just want to sit here and read your names for hours. 'Cause it's so
I know. I want to. Yeah. If one of the writers ever stumbles across this, and you are the author of this Jack poem that got rejected, please let us know who you are.
Yeah.
This might be
Yeah.
a Patrick Weeks. I know Patrick Weeks did a lot of the
Patrick
codex
is
stuff,
so
but I don't know if
Yeah.
he did this. So we'll see.
Mac.
We'll see.
I mean, all of them.
All of
Yeah.
them.
Really good stuff. Brilliant. So the next is from Recoil, and this is these are two tally lines from Recoil.
When I was a Quarian on pilgrimage, I used to walk by that sushi place and watch the fish through the window. I knew they would never let me inside, but I told myself, someday, when I've proven my worth to the galaxy, I'll go there for dinner. And then you broke their floor.
I love it.
Do you want me to do the other one?
Sure. We got so many requests for this. I had to include it.
Emergency induction port.
There you go. Everyone loves to like you're medicated right now, but everyone really likes you drunk in the game. Like, it's like everyone's like, we need drunk Tally. Awesome. All right, so the next set is from Trainer and Shepherd. Why don't we do?
That should be
why don't
Jennifer.
we do,
I think.
Jennifer, you want to do Jennifer? Okay.
I think if it's Trainer and Shepherd, I think it should be Jennifer.
Okay.
I'm still trying to get my bearings. When I was working on the Normandy's upgrades, I left at the end of the day. I made some emergency purchases on the Citadel.
Next time you need something, just ask. We're all in this together.
Oh, it's no trouble, Commander. I'm sure you have larger concerns.
We can put in a requisition order.
My toothbrush? Precision Pro Mark IV. It uses tiny Mass Effect fields to break up the plaque and to massage the gums. 6,000 credits.
Okay. Yeah, you're on your own with that.
Nice work.
Oh, you haven't had a prop. That was great.
That's great.
The cheapest
Lots of
toothbrush I
requests.
could find.
You had it ready. So good.
You brought props this year. I love it.
Props to the prop.
Yeah,
Props to the props.
These are some Caden lines. These are requested by Sandra Botter and Daniel Hawksworth.
Mom is right. I should have brought a sweater. And messed up kid that I was, I never would have dreamed of the life that I've had.
Oh, good. I love it. All right. And we have 1 million people that requested this. A line for Morden.
Had to be me. Someone else might have gotten it wrong.
Cue the sadness.
Yeah.
And then we got so many requests for these. I figured this is a good way to wrap up the voice lines. This is a Shepherd line, and this is we probably got 15 requests for this. Would anyone like to say the big stupid jellyfish line?
That was a mark. I bow to Mark on that one.
Very well. You're a big, stupid jellyfish.
I love it. I love it. And Haggis McHaggis would love if everyone said I should go. He said a cacophony of I should go.
Should we end with that one?
I think we should.
one more
Oh wait,
time?
no, wait. We have the I forgot we have the inspirational line.
Back to the top.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so back to
And
the
then
top,
we'll
and
end.
then,
Yeah,
then everybody
inspirational
says I
line,
should
then I
go.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. All right, I was going to do the first bit, and then we'll.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe you're right. Maybe we can't win this, but we'll fight you regardless. Just like we did Sovereign. Just like I'm doing now. However insignificant we may be.
We will fight. We will sacrifice, and we will find a way. That's what humans do.
Yay!
Yes.
All right, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, now we can do the I should go.
So will we do 3, 2, 1, say it, or 3, 2, say it on one? What do we prefer?
3, 2, 1, say it.
Okay.
You
Ashley,
ready?
you count us in.
I'll count you down. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
I
should
go. That was definitely cacophony. That was
That was like trying to
That
sing
was-
Happy Birthday in Zoom.
that was. Yeah. The magic of technology almost works. But honestly, guys, thank you so much. And just as a representative of the community, it is always an absolute honor to come in here and chat with you guys. It's so much fun. Where can guys find you on social, and where can guys find your signings in the next couple weeks?
I am straight after this jumping over to my Instagram live to sign for you guys. Woo!
Awesome.
Right now after this.
Courtney's
Anyone
signing
else?
tonight, she said. Yeah.
Yep.
Peter, are you doing tonight?
I'm signing at 5 p.m. Pacific time. Yeah.
There we
Awesome.
go. I will also be signing tonight at 7 p.m. Pacific time.
And
Awesome.
I'm going to jump on around Alex's time. I'm going to grab a bite of lunch and get back to it. So probably somewhere around 1:30, 2 o'clock Pacific time.
Awesome. Well,
I'm
thank you guys so much. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm Sunday, this coming Sunday, the 13th at 4 p.m. Pacific time. All right.
And I'll
Keep an
be
eye out.
later
I
in the
will be
month.
announcing soon.
Same.
Yeah, same here.
Same,
Yeah.
late in November.
Yes, I'll be signing in late November as well. And we'll have some duos available. Keep an eye on everybody's shops. Bill, when are you signing?
Yeah, I'm not. I'm gonna go later in the month. I haven't decided yet, so
Perfect.
I'm like you and Keith. Yeah.
Yeah. And anybody got anything to shout out? I'm of course going to shout out Skills Hub, my, voice acting site for everybody. And at J Hale Tweets on Twitter, I will stay until the house burns. I'm on Mastodon at J Hale, I think. Instagram at J Hale Graham. So.
I did say that I'd save this till plugs. Jennifer and I are in a game together where we're not playing the same character. It's been out for a while now, and it's one of those games where they just keep adding new stuff and putting out new episodic narrative content. It's The Long Dark, in which we do not play the same person. We actually play a divorced couple, so we get to have dramatic.
Wonderful.
That's great.
And it's a beautiful game. It's a first-person survival, but it's a really smart one. Like you
so
dive
amazing.
into stupidity. Yeah, it's great.
I will plug. Bill and I will be doing a live stream of Combat Radio's Christmas Carol, which is going to be great fun. Live radio theater with live Foley. I'll be directing and maybe making an appearance, and Bill's going to be part of the cast. In the Los Angeles area, Sunday, November 20th, at the Canyon Club in Santa Clarita. And it'll be live streaming, I think, the week after, right after Thanksgiving. I think it'll be available for streaming. So keep an eye out for a Combat Radio Christmas Carol.
Cool.
Cool.
I think I missed Allie Hillis everywhere. Whoever, Instagram and Twitter, I think I'm all Miss Allie Hillis. So check me out over there. And if you want to see new shows coming out, you can look me up, search me on imdb.com. Got a new streamer on Netflix right now. I guess you can look. I'm like, wait, it's out, right? It's called Exception. So if you get a chance to stream that, I think people already have. So check that out. And also, I just wanted to do a shout out to Mr. Ash and say thank you so much for being
thank you,
Ash.
Ash.
Thank you, Ash.
You're always here for us.
Well
Thank you
done.
so very,
I
very
appreciate it,
much.
guys.
And I hope
you
we
for
don't crash your website.
All that.
No,
stream it.
All the questions, all of it.
Yeah,
I love all you guys.
Yeah, it's always it's a huge privilege. And I've told this story a million times. We'll just wrap it up with this. I did an interview with Allie probably over a decade ago. There's a few moments in your life where you encounter people that give you a bit of advice or inspiration that steers your path and forces you to go in a different direction. One was my 11th grade English teacher who told me I could write. And then Allie, with my very first interview that I had ever really done with another human being, told me that I was okay at it. And it gave me the courage to keep doing it. And it's become a career. Now I can provide for my family. So it's
that's amazing.
It means a lot. And the community has always been wonderful and beautiful to me. So thank you, Mass Effect fans. Thank you guys for being awesome people. And
and Jennifer, thanks for reaching out to us and making sure that
we love you.
It's Jennifer who has sort of is the kind of the cerebral cortex, so that we all.
Thank you for being an organized person. Thank you.
Well, a shout out to Laura behind the scenes here for
Yes.
Yeah, and shout out to
Yes.
Cindy
Yeah,
and to
thank you,
Andrew.
Laura.
Yeah.
I have
Laura and
one thing
Andrew.
I could love to plug, which is just basically a film that I directed, which is a documentary called Only in Theaters, which is opening in
Oh,
Los Angeles
wow.
in 7 theaters at
Great.
Lemley Theaters on
How
November
cool.
18th.
Oh my
And
God.
it's a beautiful film. I'm very proud of it. But it's opening in LA and then in New York in January. But if you're in LA,
Congratulations.
it's called Only in
Congratulations.
Theaters.
Only in
Yeah.
theaters. Awesome.
That's
Only in
great.
theaters.
So
Awesome.
great.
Thank you.
And you can look for a beautiful little film called almost completely true story. Our almost completely true story, and it should be streaming soon. So just take a look. Take a look.
Yay.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Everyone's
Congratulations.
doing
Look
such
for you
great
in
stuff.
that. Yeah.
And if
Oh,
you're
wow.
on Netflix, you can look up Dota Dragon's Blood, where I play Moon, Salamene, and her daughter Philomena, two very different characters, have entire scenes opposite myself, which was much
Wow. That's cool.
Wow.
So please do. It's a beautiful, beautiful animation. We've done 3 seasons so far, so I'd love people watched it. It's great.
You know what?
And also, oh, no,
Oh, go ahead. You go.
No.
Go.
no, sorry. And I was just gonna, as a slight separate, just feel inspired by what Raphael just said. But I have just joined the board of a cinema, the Lexi Cinema, which is named after me. It's a social enterprise because my mum built it. I should say it's not like a random person just built a cinema and named it after me. Sorry, my mum founded it and needed a name, and I was like Lexi, which is my nickname. But we are a social enterprise cinema. We give 100% of our profits to a charity in South Africa, working with children there. So if you could give us a follow, social medias, it's just at the Lexi Cinema. It's in Northwest London, and we do great things there, including showing
Wonderful.
Fantastic.
films
I'm gonna
one
find
day.
you. I'm gonna
All
come
of you.
find you.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
message me.
That's great.
So yeah,
And
That's great.
for our fellow castmates who weren't able to be on the panel, keep an eye out on socials. We will let you know when they're signing and where and all that, so you guys can reach as many of us as you would like to. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you all so much.
Thank
And I know
you.
everyone in the
Thank you.
community
Thanks, Ash.
thanks you as
Thank
well.
you, Ash. Thank you, Streamly.
All
It's
your
been a
work.
blast.
Thank you,
Yes,
Streamly.
guys.
Streamly.
Thanks, everybody.
All right.
Thank you,
We'll see
viewers.
you guys next year.
Bye.
Happy N7 Day.
Bye-bye.
I don't know how to turn it
Happy
on.
See you next year.
Oh,
N7.
wait, I need a picture. Hold on. Say cheese.
Cheese.
Please.
Yay.
Yeah, I don't know how to cut the stream, so we're just going to kind of sit here and